Good morning, Prairie UU. Good morning, Mother Earth, with all your colors. We are Prairie Unitarian Universalist Church. We are from Parker, Colorado, and we say welcome and join us. We are a liberal religious light on the prairie. I invite you this morning. I invite you who celebrate the colors of the earth. I invite you who celebrate the winds and the stillness. I invite you who celebrate the changing of the weather from warm to cold. I invite you to celebrate the gifts from the sky and the mountains and to the depths of the oceans and the deepest gorges and volcanoes. I invite you to celebrate with us the fruits of the earth that we are provided. I invite you to come and celebrate with us a day of wonder. I invite you to come and celebrate with us. From me to you, welcome to Prairie UU.
Good morning, Prairie family, friends, and guests. Thank you for being here on this chilly fall morning. We're going to start the service by singing a really beautiful hymn. I think it'll become a favorite of ours. It's the first one in the Teal hymnal. I don't know why it's taken us so long to do this one, but it's called Morning Has Come. It's words and music by Jason Shelton. And I will sing the first verse slowly, and then Eric's drums and piano kick in, and then we'll sing the first verse again, and then 2 additional verses. So please join me as you're willing and able in singing Morning Has Come. Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide your journey home. A new day dawns, once more the gift is given. Wonder fills this moment shared together. The light of peace here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide your journey home. Open our eyes to see that life abounds. Open hearts to welcome it among us. The light of love here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide your journey home.
Hello. We could think of no better way to start our service today than with our breathing buddy. This is my breathing buddy, Ringo. If you don't have your breathing buddy, now is the time to retrieve it. Let's settle into our space and let's take a moment to do this as community.
We will start with a moment of breathing. And now I invite you, if you have a breathing buddy, to rest your breathing buddy on your chest. I invite you to face a source of inspiration or to close your eyes and let us start breathing together. Settling in, maybe roll your shoulders back, open up your chest, maybe stretch a little bit and just become one with yourself in this space, releasing the tension of your body. Maybe you'll need to adjust and move your neck to the left and to the right. Let's take a few moments to breathe together. Let's take a deep breath in and out. Breathe in and out. In and out. In and out.
During this month, we focus on deep listening, and today we focus on a celebration of wonder. I invite you to take the next few minutes of meditation or reflection to reflect on what it means to be part of the Cornucopia of Wonder. I would like you to envision a cornucopia, to envision what it means to be part of that space yourself. How are you part of a harvested community? And as you look around you, you see many other harvested members of this community. All of them are hand-selected for their beauty and uniqueness. A community that is in many shapes, sizes, colors, and even ages. Some of us came to the community a long time ago, and others are brand new. Others took a while to get here, and some grew and came to our cornucopia quickly and at a very young age. If you look around at your cornucopia community, who is there? Where do they come from?
I believe that if you speak out loud your wish of goodwill, that it connects us with each other and it gives that goodwill power. And therefore I offer today the members of our larger community that we leave outside of our cornucopia of community. The members of our larger community who we fail to reach out to and to bring into the community. We must remember that the cornucopia, like any other community, is not something that just happens. If we want a beautiful cornucopia that is diverse and full of life and color, then we must participate in the cultivation of that harvest and the collection of community. Today I offer up in this space those who have not been cultivated, the ones we have left on the ground too long or abandoned, those we have forgotten to water so they could grow deep roots. And I invite you now to speak peace and love into the world by speaking of those we hold in our hearts as we send out positive energy into this world, and maybe remember and reflect on who we have forgotten. I invite you, if you are in the Google Meet, to unmute yourself and speak the name of any intention you would like at this time. Or if you are anywhere else in the world joining us, please feel free to enter that information into the chat, and we'll send this goodwill out to each other at this time. I now bind all that has been named and made known to us, and also that which we hold in our hearts and our spirits with the love and the compassion and the joy of this community as we celebrate together this wondrous day and light our chalice flame.
Our beloved community is not built on a creed, but on a covenant to live together in relationship. Our chalice is a symbol that we are connected with our larger Unitarian Universalist community. We light this flame as a symbol of our covenant to each other and to the world around us, and we will recite our sacred promise now. We covenant
To be a welcoming and loving community, offering each other fellowship, sanctuary, and a joyful spirit. We seek justice and peace in all our deeds and relationships,
and we respect and honor both the individual and the collective search for sacred meaning and truth.
We revere and celebrate the diversity of our earth and are guided by the Spirit that connects all life as we reach out to offer our best to ourselves, our community, and our world.
May the goodwill that we've just offered up be held in our hearts and be a sign that we've come to this place to connect in a way that shares the words from our mouths, the music from our hearts, and the very silent selves as we share the next moments of silence together.
This morning, we will be centering on these words from Michelle Obama. Race and racism is a reality that so many of us grow up learning to just deal with. But if we ever hope to move past it, it can't just be on people of color to deal with it. It's up to all of us, black, white, everyone, no matter how well-meaning we think we might be, to do the honest, uncomfortable work of rooting it out. It starts with self-examination and listening to those whose lives are different from our own. It ends with justice, compassion, and empathy that manifests in our lives and on our streets. If we are to struggle against oppression, we will start with self-examination. If we are to be honest about our own participation in systematic oppression, we will start with self-examination. If we are to be the change we want to see in the world, we will start with self-examination. If we are going to gather and harvest a community that will be different than before, we will start with self-examination. If we are going to celebrate together in a new creation and cornucopia of wonder, we will start with self-examination.
Hello, my name is Michael Mead, and I'm your worship associate for today. I'm coming to you from Davis, California. Yes, I'm still here, and I'm so fortunate that we're able to stay connected with our online services. I'm looking forward to when I can come back to Colorado. My job allows me to go back to my office. When I moved to Colorado 8 years ago, I had no idea the wonders that Mother Earth placed there. She gave us beautiful scenery to play and live in. She gave us clean, pure water to drink and to bathe in. She gave us clean air to breathe and fertile soil to plant our foods and our dreams in. I am in awe of what we have in Colorado. I'd like to welcome all of our first-time visitors and guests. Every day we offer ourselves as a liberal religious light on the prairie in the southeast Denver metro area. We open our spiritual home and our hearts to all people who thirst for authenticity and a connection with the mystery of life. We hope you feel welcomed and a sense of inclusion today as we engage in our online service. We want to acknowledge you joining us for the first time, whether you are from Parker, Colorado, or Davis, California. Welcome. Whether you are from the Castle Rock UU community or from Bridge House, welcome. Or if you're from anywhere else in the world, welcome, welcome, welcome. We want to acknowledge you who are joining for the very first time, and we ask you to click on the welcome link in the chat or go to www.prairieuu.org/welcome and sign our guest registry so that we can keep you connected with Prairie UU in the weeks and months to come. You are welcome here. Normally when we meet in person, I would ask you now to turn to your neighbor and give them a hearty greeting and perhaps a hug, but in our online service we're unable to do that. So I give you a huge virtual hug from California to wherever you are in the world with all the love and celebration that we have as part of our UU community.
Good morning, my beloveds. This morning, I would like to thank you for being here today. While we had planned this service around the theme of the Cornucopia of Wonder, I would like to ask you to indulge me in this message today as it takes on a different theme, because I feel that we need to address some issues directly that are currently affecting our nation today. I would like to begin this conversation with you by inviting you first to realize and to accept an invitation to a deeper conversation and reflection that will expand beyond the next few minutes of this message and spill over into the days and the weeks to come. I also want to recognize that this conversation may be a difficult one for you to hear. For some of you, this conversation will be without any controversy or surprise, while for others, the content of my message today may be new information, and it might be very uncomfortable, challenging, and difficult for you to hear and absorb. I want to make sure that you have time to process this conversation and invite you, if you are joining us live on Sunday morning, to continue this conversation after the public broadcast by coming to and joining us in Google Meet, and also to continue the conversation with us on Tuesday evening. Over the last few weeks, we have heard a ramped up version of the hate speech and incitement to violence by the Trump administration. We have heard Trump say to white supremacists, stand back and stand by, rather than denounce their actions. We have heard Trump say to his supporters, lock her up. This time not against Secretary Clinton, but rather against Michigan Governor Whitmer. Now, normally, this would be considered and dismissed as more of his same old rhetoric, but this didn't happen on just any day. This has happened and continues to happen days after the Justice Department foiled a plan by a militia of domestic terrorists who were convinced that they had the authority to lock her up, charge her, and then try Governor Whitmer with all intents and purposes, the intention to execute her. We are at a time when most of us, we've all questioned the actions of Trump, his administration, and conservatives in Congress who seem to have no ability to refuse to speak out against him. So many of us are able to discount much of this as just more rhetoric. But unfortunately, though, I am here to ask you to rethink this assumption that this is just more rhetoric. I am asking you to frame this in the light of the fact that Trump has refused to commit to a peaceful transfer of power. This portion of his rhetoric is personally very disturbing to me and to many others across the country. Trump was not asked to not contest the election or not to challenge it if he lost, and then refused that. That I could accept. He was asked to commit to a peaceful transition of power, and he refused. In other words, he would not rule out violence in order to maintain power and remain in office if he lost the election. Now, some of you may say that it wouldn't go that far, and I hope you're correct. But to date, the evidence doesn't seem to support that. He has laid a foundation of belief in his supporters to undermine the validity of the election. He and others in leadership are using every tool they can to suppress voters and to intimidate them, including limiting polling locations, refusing to remove fake collection boxes, and calling for an army of poll watchers. Not a group of committed citizens, but an army of poll watchers, many who show up armed. This is all very troubling for me, and I hope for you. We as Unitarian Universalists theologically are bound by our history and as a living tradition to commit to overcome injustices such as these that we are seeing coming both from the White House and others in leadership across this country. I am here to tell you that yes, I believe and agree with the words of our UUA president, the Reverend Susan Frederick Gray, when she says that, and I quote, that one thing we must be honest about is the reality that our democracy is under attack and has been for a long time. This week, she reminded us ministers that it is often expected of us to project calm, certainty, and strength. But she also reminded us that what our communities need more than an appearance of strong leadership is authentic and honest leadership. She reminded us that we must use our leadership as a matter of faith to prepare our communities for times of uncertainty and injustice. And this is what I am proud to say that we did back in February and March of this year. We did this in light of the foreshadowing of the coming pandemic. Our leadership here at Prairie U did a fine job, not without some missteps, of course, but truly did a fine job in transitioning from being an in-person to a virtual church. And we did this by being authentic with you. And I have every confidence that we will continue to work, live, advocate, and love each other through the coming trials we may face in the coming weeks. Now, I hope with everything in my body and soul that what is being foreshadowed will not come to pass. I am praying and placing out into the universe a hope of justice, equity, and peace that will come in our future. And even though some of it doesn't directly apply because we don't have a building, I hear deeply Susan's words when she asks us the following. She asks us, will we show up in the streets, set up or contribute to a bail or legal assistance fund? She asks us, will you open your congregation building to protesters needing sanctuary from state repression for Medic Station? Will we organize fundraisers or tap into discretionary funds to make sure that frontline organizers have the money they need to move this work? She continues to tell us, it is more important than ever that we hold a bold spiritual imagination with audacious leadership and communities that show a new way forward. At the end of the day, Reverend Susan is asking for us to be creative in our response. She is asking us to dig deep into our theological call to bring universal salvation to all members of our society in the here and now. She is asking us for authentic responses that uphold our values. She asks us, and I quote, be prepared to join in collective, moral, faithful action to defend our democracy. Now, this call to defend democracy means something different to everyone, and I recognize that. But I'm going to ask you to recognize and respect that as well. I'm also going to ask you to join me in expanding whatever this has meant to you in the past. In these coming weeks, there may be acts of violence against members of our community. We know that the rhetoric and hate speech being spoken is directly aimed at people of color, specifically Black and Asian members of our communities, as well as our queer members of our community, especially our trans siblings. Emotionally and spiritually, violence is being perpetrated against these members of our community every day, along with their family members. And all too many times, this violence ends in physical violence against them. I am asking you today to do the following. First, I am asking you to secure your own well-being. Start with your spiritual and emotional well-being. I ask you to reach out to me, other members of our Prairie U community, and to your family and friends. Check in with each other. Smile and laugh and cry with each other and do all the other things that need to be done. Next, check in with your physical well-being. Check in with your body. Make sure you are getting enough rest. Make sure you are practicing techniques that reduce your stress. Step away from social media and the news. Eat healthy and regularly, and make sure you are taking medications as prescribed. And finally, make sure that you are prepared for these cold winter days, for more flu and more COVID, and prepare for potential civil unrest. Go shopping and stock up. If you need financial support or other support, let me, a member of the Committee on Shared Ministry, or a member of the Caring Circle know. Okay, that was first. It was a big first. Second, I am asking you to more deeply engage and connect with members of our community. I'm going to ask our Caring Circle membership committee and others to reach out to you in the next week or so and to check in with you. Please answer the call or the text or the email. Please let us know you are okay and if you need anything. We are only as strong of a community as we can be when we come together as one. And we need to know how you're doing. I know that the Caring Circle made lots of calls back in March, April, and May, and over the summer even. And some of those calls went unanswered for a long time. So please, if you know of anyone who isn't answering the call or isn't connected, maybe we have a wrong phone number or isn't engaging, encourage them to share their needs with us to help them deepen their connection with us as a community. Third, I'm asking you to engage with us in conversation about how we can connect with and respond to the needs of the larger community and our own community members if there is further civil unrest. I will be hosting a conversation to start both a congregational needs assessment and a congregational resource mapping assessment on Tuesday evening. I would like for as many of you as possible to attend, and you can find the information on the Prairie calendar. Fourth and finally, I'm asking you to trust in our community and leadership. Just as we have come through this first stage of the COVID pandemic, I know that every time we face a challenge together, we become a stronger community that has a deeper bond and a deeper commitment to each other and our faith. As a leadership team, we are here not to lead and direct, but to listen and to serve. I ask you to join with us in community to build our beloved community, not just here, but everywhere. Our faith calls upon us to act and to come together as community. And I really invite you to join us. I know that we will do that here at Prairie UU, across the Front Range, and as UUs across this country. In the days to come, we must vote our values and speak our truth. And though the end might not be in sight right now for us at this exact moment in time, we will continue to bend the arc of the moral universe towards justice if we come together as community, which I know we will. Blessed be.
Now let's join in singing hymn number 95, There Is More Love Somewhere. I'd like to thank the other churches, the UU churches and the Denver Boulder metro area and their music ministers for putting together this recording to share with all the churches.
There is more love somewhere. hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. Oh, there is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere.
Good morning, Prairie UU. Prairie UU is not an institution, but is a community of people who come together in love and support for each other. Being part of this community involves sharing our resources, our time, our talent, and treasure. We need to be taken care of in a variety of ways. One of the teams that does this for us is our Caring Circle. The members of the Caring Circle are dedicated to connecting with and helping our members in times of need. This can involve arranging meal deliveries, sending cards, making phone calls, helping with transportation needs, and more. I would personally like to thank the members of the Caring Circle who have supported me over the years during times of loss and health issues. It is really great to feel loved and supported, and even better feeling to give love and support to others. So if you have a need or would like to join this group, please contact Pastor AJ. We would also like to thank you for your generosity in giving to the Duke Scholarship Youth Activities Fund. This fund was created in loving memory of Alan Duke, Brian and Emmy Duke's son. The fund helps to offset and grow our youth programming, assisting in creating our amazing and vibrant and engaged UU youth community. If you would like to know more about the fund, please contact Kendra Perez, our Lifespan Chair, or Jen Simon, our Lifespan Coordinator. We invite you to be a happy giver to Prairie UU. While we can't pass the plate in person today, we do need your continued support as we continue to build our beloved community. Thank you for your offering to our community. We know that it is generously given and it is gratefully received. Thank you.
From you I receive
to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Morgan Copeland, and I'm a member of Prairie UU. I became a member of Prairie UU in December of 2017 after moving here from San Diego that February. We had attended First Unitarian Universalist there, but had never become members. One Sunday morning in summer of 2017, after moving to Parker, Danny and I were driving to the library and saw a sign outside of Pine Grove Elementary that said, Prairie Unitarian Universalist Church, service at 10:30. I made it to the stop sign, looked at Danny, and asked, did that say there was a UU church that meets there? When Danny said yes, I turned the car around, pulled into the parking lot, and began to do my research on Prairie. After looking over the website, I told Danny that we would attend the next Sunday. When we attended our first meeting, I was overwhelmed by the warm welcome we received first at the sign-in table, and then during the Greet Your Neighbor portion. I heard the candles of community and saw the support and encouragement the congregation offered those who shared their joys and sorrows. I felt good there. I felt as though I had found my spiritual home. It felt different from the big church we attended in San Diego, where there were so many congregants I often felt like I was bobbing around in an ocean of people. Prairie was small, but the personalities and love were big. I loved hearing what the different committees were doing and how everyone worked together to make an impact both within the church and in the community. I joined the finance committee in January of this year, and it has truly been an eye-opening experience as to all of the behind-the-scenes actions and the congregant participation that is required to keep our liberal religious light on the Prairie going. If you are considering how you can help, please consider becoming a member or joining one of the many committees that exist. With everything going on in the world today, we could use more people dedicated to making the world a better place. Thank you, and have a great Sunday.
Well, it looks like we've all made it to our Zoom meeting. Cheers, ladies. I'm turning the meeting over to Jan, our chairperson of the auction committee. Take it away, Jan.
Hello, folks. The auction website is all up and set and running. We've had great success with getting some auction emails out and in the newsletter. And we have some great donations already, but we don't have a lot of bidders. Does anybody have any ideas about what would help with getting some more bidders?
Well, why don't we all check and see if we're registered?
I thought I was registered on the website, but it says I'm not.
I've tried to register, Jan, but it won't let me.
Man.
Well, I registered last year. Maybe that isn't enough. I should try again.
I think I'm registered, but when I look, it just doesn't go through. It says it wants a code that was sent to my email. But Jan, there's never anything there.
Okay, I guess now we have a clue as to why maybe no one is bidding. Either you ladies are just hopeless, or we might have some bugs in the system. Let's see if we can fix our problems first, and maybe that will help us figure out what's wrong.
Okay, I'm gonna send you new access codes. Let's try that.
All right.
Okay, I got mine. Thank you.
Did that help with some registration? Okay, wonderful. I think everything is working now.
Well, if this group of church ladies can figure it out, then anybody can.
Wonderful. All right, so now come on, folks. We know an online auction is a new challenge, but Prairie can do it. Let's show how we can all pull together and make this one not just the greatest online auction, but the greatest auction that Prairie has had. send your donation to auction@prairieuu.org, and let's start bidding on the Prelude events while there's still time. Let's have a party together apart.
Together.
And I must say, it's a whole lot easier to bid on the auction than it was to make this video. Cheers.
Cheers.
As we prepare to leave this sacred space, in the spirit that they take us forward, reminding us that our service does not end here, but continues to live in our hearts, may we go forward with these words from Mark L. Bellatini.
Go in peace, live simply, gently, at home in yourselves.
Act justly, speak justly.
Remember the depth of your own compassion. Forget not your power in the days of your powerlessness.
Do not desire to be wealthier than your peers, and stint not your hand of charity. Practice forbearance.
Speak the truth or speak not.
Take care of yourselves as bodies, for you are a good gift.
Crave peace for all people in the world, beginning with yourselves, and go as you go, with the dream of that peace alive in your heart.
Amen, Amin, Shalom, Salam, Namaste, and blessed be.